Hey guys, John here, back with another one for you. So yesterday was rain. Today's probably, I think, going to be dogs. We've had a busy morning here. We had the wood dropped off for building our house, and we had a couple other people that came out and so forth. So dogs are a little riled up today. So if you hear a little bit of barking in the background, just kind of what it is when you live on a farm. So I wanted to get this out to you anyway, and I wanted to talk about the relationship between degrees and getting a job, getting a tech job, because inevitably whenever I talk about jobs or degrees or anything like that, I get some pushback, people saying that you essentially have to have a bachelor's degree in order to get any sort of tech job. And my experience has been almost the exact opposite of that. And so what I wanted to do is just talk a little bit about my own experience, which I know is anecdotal, but talk about that just a little bit and then get into looking at some actual jobs and some more hard data. So this is an example of sort of kind of the typical thing someone will bring up. This is a bachelor's degree in computer science, information systems or equivalent, or an associate's degree in a relevant field with 2+ years of IT experience. And this is even a lot of them won't even say an associate's degree. They'll just say bachelor's degree in computer science, information systems, etc. And that's it. And a lot of people will look at that and they'll just say, well, I don't have my degree, or I don't have my degree in those things, and therefore I can't apply to this job, and sort of move on. And sort of the first big point that I want to make is that while this stuff is on here and it may say it is a requirement and all of that stuff, I'm just telling you that in a lot of cases it just isn't. And the example I can point to from my own experience is this job here. Now this is a slightly different than what I did. This is a warehouse manager. I was a line manager. But it's sort of along those same lines. And if we scroll down here, this job qualifications, it just says bachelor's degree from my 4-year college or university. And this company is in a small town. I lived in that town for a good 4 or 5 years or something like that. And so everybody's really familiar with this company, and they are really big on college degrees. And for the most part, the sense outside of the company in the local community is you got to have a degree to get a job there. That's just a bare minimum requirement. So, again, to a lot of people, this is just a roadblock that you can't get around. You have to get your degree. Well, I applied for the line manager job similar to this. I didn't have a degree. At that time, I only had about 2 years of college, and I wasn't in school, so it wasn't like I was doing an intern thing or anything like that. I just applied for the job, and they knew I didn't have a degree. They still called me in for an interview. I went through the interview process. Not only did I get hired, but the plant manager that ended up hiring me said they pulled me. I was supposed to go to one plant. They pulled me out of that plant and put me in another plant because that plant manager wanted me so bad and told me that it was probably the best interview that he's ever done. And so the point of all of that is that while some of this stuff may be listed on there, again, these are not hard, fast rules, and companies will break their rules in a heartbeat if they find the right kind of person. And the reason that I got hired is I had about 4 or 5 years experience already as a manager. And so that's far more valuable to a company than someone who has a college degree in basket weaving or whatever it is. So again, point being that while these things say this, don't take that as a hard, fast rule. And even if you don't have a degree, I would apply for these jobs anyway. The worst that can happen is that they're going to say no. Well, if you don't apply, you're already getting a no anyway. So, that's sort of the first point that I want to make here. Don't take those things as hard roadblocks. The other thing that I want to say about this is, if I just go to Indeed and I search for web developer, and if I start looking through these actual jobs and looking at the qualifications. So this one was demonstrated experience. You sort of read through this. I don't see anything related to a college degree on here. I don't think I'm missing it. So this one doesn't even say that. It just says demonstrated experience. If we go to this one, qualifications, 3+ years of web development with demonstrable experience. Okay. Nothing in here that I see about a degree. Okay. And I haven't done any voodoo here. These are the first page. These are the ones that come up. You can see 47,184 jobs. It's a simple search. This is what comes up first. Front-end web developer. Minimum requirements. 2 to 3 years professional front-end developer experience. Blah, 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 blah. Don't see anything about a degree on this one. All right, so we go to this one. HTML, CSS, JS. Again, don't see anything about a degree in this one. Let's see, junior developer, 1 to 3 years of HTML and CSS development experience. And don't see anything about a degree on this one. If I'm missing it, by all means, point it out. But, all right, the job requirements. Okay, this is the one that we looked at before that says bachelor's degree. So we've got one so far that has a requirement for a degree. Skills and qualifications, proficient understanding of web markup, etc., etc. Again, nothing for a degree. Yeah, and this one, I don't see anything about a degree on that one. I'm going through them quick because I don't want this video to be 3 hours long, but education, bachelor's preferred. So this is one of those things, and you see this with some of these other ones. I think there's some other ones in here. Education, BA/BS related degree, or code school certificate. And I think there's one down here that says BS in information technology or relevant work experience. So what a lot of people do when they're trying to make the point that you have to have a degree is they'll look at this and they'll say, see, you have to have a degree. And they'll just sort of ignore this other relevant work experience. Or if you're someone who's maybe a little insecure about all of this, it can be easy for you to think worst case scenario and ignore that second part that says or relevant work experience or code school certificate or this, that, or the other. And so what I'm saying is that or relevant work experience actually matters. Companies pay attention to that. And if you don't have the degree and you have some relevant work experience, it's worth applying to see what happens. And so if we just keep sort of going through these, education, bachelor's degree in IT or related field, master's preferred. Okay, so that one has a real sort of hard requirement. Let's see, proficient in understanding of web markup. I don't see anything about a degree here. Shopify, experience, Shopify 2 years required. So nothing, I don't see anything about college degree in here. Qualifications, bachelor's degree or equivalent years of relevant experience in 1+ years. So again, or equivalent experience. And let's look at this one. Qualifications, education experience, bachelor's degree, formula, or college and related disciplines preferred. Experience may be substituted for education. Okay, so I went through the whole first list in here. I saw 2 hard requirements for a bachelor's degree. So where people said you got to have a bachelor's degree. Those are the worst case scenario. I would apply for those anyway, because if you have the experience, they may just throw that out the window. There was about half of the ones after that didn't have any degree requirement, and half that said degree or relevant work experience. So, and again, this is the first page here, so take that for what it's worth. But when someone is out there saying you absolutely have to have a degree, I mean, just a small amount of looking for jobs over on Indeed will tell you that's simply not the case. So, again, I don't want you to fall in this trap of thinking that you have to have a degree. Now, one of the things that you might be thinking is, okay, that's fine, I don't need a degree, but it says relevant work experience. A lot of them have requirements for 1 to 3 years or whatever. And so how do I get that relevant work experience? One of the simple things that you can do is just get involved with some sort of open source community. Now, I could tell you about WordPress and all the big ones out there, but I sort of was thinking about this one, the Shopify developer. This is sort of a really specific sort of thing. And I wanted to show you that even for this, you can find, this has 2 years experience with Shopify. You can find open source projects related to really obscure things. So if we go over to GitHub and you do a search up here for Shopify, then there's this ultimate Shopify theme framework. You click through that and it tells you that this has been deprecated and now they're using the Slate theme. So we click through to that. And now this is the new project that they're working on. And you can see down here that there's an open source project for Shopify themes. It's a theme framework, and they even have a contributing section. If we click through onto contributing, they say right here, Slate is an open source project built for the Shopify theme community, and it needs contributions from the community to be truly successful. Like, they want you to be involved. And so then they tell you how to contribute, how to get started, all of this stuff. And so you can get started. This is, again, really obscure. Like Shopify is not like this big WordPress thing. I know Shopify is not like super tiny, but it's sort of just random, right? It's not WordPress or it's not some PHP project or whatever. It's Shopify, which is just sort of a company. So it's kind of obscure, yet they have an open source project. They want you to get involved with it. They're happy to help you figure out how to contribute and get involved. And if you get involved as a developer with this open source project and you go to this job and you tell them that not only do you know what Shopify is, you've used it, but you've contributed to the open source theme framework that Shopify itself is trying to push out there as its open source project, do you really think someone who has a 4 degree is going to trump that experience? I just don't buy it. I really don't. So, and again, this is just one example with Shopify. There's all sorts of things out there, all sorts of different open source projects that you can get involved with. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is remove every roadblock, every excuse, every reason why you would not go out there and start applying right now. These jobs are out there. You can apply. You can get the qualifications if you don't have them yet. You don't need a degree for most of these, and you can do this. So again, what matters is getting into action. Don't let these things in your head, these fears, or what other random people on the internet happen to rant and rave about. Get out there and do this. If you really want to do this for a living, the opportunity is everywhere, and you do have what it takes to do it. You just gotta start taking action and actually do it. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk about today. Of course, if you need the actual sort of coding skills to be able to deliver on this, and you're still sort of in that learning phase, then I've got an entire curriculum that's going to help you with that. HTML, CSS, a little bit of JavaScript, even PHP, MySQL. I'll teach you how to freelance. I'll teach you how to get clients outside of freelancing sites. I'll teach you I have my productivity course to teach you how to be more productive, really trying to give you everything that you need in order to be successful in this industry. And the best part about it is you can get started for nothing. As a teacher over there, I can give you a 2-month free trial. Just go to johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. That'll trigger the trial. Sign up for that trial. Take all of my courses. You get full access to everything, all the source code, all the downloads, everything during that 2 months, plus full access to the 21,000 plus other courses that are on there, and all sorts of things from graphic design to all the brand new modern stuff like React and Node, and all that stuff is over there. You get full access to those courses during that 2 months. You can take as much training as you absolutely can, really buckle down and tackle it and dive into it in those 2 months. Learn as much as you can, and then if you want, you can cancel any time before that 2 months is up, and you'll never pay a penny. Now, I believe if you're serious, it's only $15 a month for a full membership there to get access to everything. And that is a really inexpensive way to keep your skills up to the level they need to be in this industry. Everything is constantly changing. So I'd encourage you to stay a member, but you don't have to. You can take that 2-month free trial and then, again, cancel anytime before it's up, and you'll never pay a penny. So it's a really great way to get the skills that you need to start doing this for a living and not have to, fork over your firstborn in order to do it. So again, the link for that is johnmorrisonline.com/Skillshare. But whatever you decide to do, don't let other people's random opinions, don't let fears or insecurities, or I don't have this or I don't have that. If you have to, take the position of all employers are liars, because a lot of them are when it comes to these lists of qualifications they put out. They're wish lists, not hard requirements. But whatever you do, take action on this. Get out there and do it and apply it and start making moves towards the career and the life that you want, because that's the only way that you're going to get there. All right, that'll do it for this one. Again, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next time.